My brothers, the time has come to stand against the invaders, for our land, for our ancestors.
The water will turn German bullets into water. That's how the prophet Kinjikitile Ngwale convinced 200,000 African warriors to rise against German colonial rule in 1905. What happened next became one of the most epic fails in colonial resistance history. Sacred water mixed with flour was supposed to make warriors invincible. Instead, machine guns mowed them down by the thousands. By 1907, over 200,000 Africans were dead, most from starvation. How did a movement that promised divine protection end in such devastating defeat? 1905, German East Africa. Picture this: 5,000 Germans ruling 7 million Africans. The system was brutal: hut taxes, forced cotton labor, land seizure. But in a remote village called Ngarambe, a prophet offered hope. Kinjikitile Ngwale claimed the ancestors would protect their people. "I am possessed by the spirit of Hongo," he declared. His solution? Sacred Maji, water mixed with sorghum flour. Drink this before battle. Smear it on your skin. German bullets will turn to water. Ngwale used whispers called jijila to secretly communicate with his fighters across vast distances. The message spread like wildfire across ethnic boundaries. Tribes that had fought each other for centuries united under this promise. The Matumbi, Njindo, Pogoro, and Ngoni all became believers. But crucially, many powerful groups stayed out. The Hehe, Chaga, and Nyamwezi refused to join. By July 1905, pilgrims walked hundreds of miles to receive the blessed water. Governor von Gutzen was terrified. The natives believe they are invulnerable. July 31st, 1905, coordinated attacks erupted across 100,000 square miles. Matumbi warriors attacked the cotton warehouse at Samanga, burned it down. German plantations were overrun, government buildings destroyed. For the first few weeks, the rebellion seemed unstoppable.
Take the building!
Warriors charged German positions, genuinely believing the Maji made them bulletproof. August 1905, the coastal town of Samanga fell. Government troops were killed. Panicked German reports flooded Berlin. Massive native uprising. Send reinforcements. The early success seemed to validate the prophet's promises. African communities celebrated. Maybe the magic was real after all. September 1905. Reality struck hard at the Battle of Mahenge. Thousands of Maji warriors charged German machine gun positions in the open. They advanced chanting prayers, trusting completely in spiritual protection. The slaughter was horrific. German machine guns and rifles cut them down in devastating volleys.
The magic water is not working.
The magic water did not work, survivors reported. Many rebels were killed. The prophet's promise was exposed as deadly delusion. But instead of ending the rebellion, this disaster made the Germans more brutal. They realized they were facing a mass movement, not just scattered raids. The response would be total war. August 1905, the prophet Kinjikitile was captured and hanged. But his execution only enraged more Africans to join the fight. General von Wissmann arrived with reinforcements and a scorched earth strategy. Burn the crops, poison the wells, starve them into submission. The Germans employed devastating tactics. Villages suspected of supporting rebels were burned to the ground. Food crops were systematically destroyed to create famine. Wells were poisoned to deny water to rebel areas. Collective punishment was imposed on entire communities. By late 1905, German forces numbered over 15,000 men. They had overwhelming firepower, modern rifles, machine guns, artillery. The rebels? Mostly spears, arrows, and some captured weapons. The Magi ritual continued, but now it couldn't stop the systematic destruction. In 1906 to 1907, the rebellion entered its death spiral. Africans resorted to guerrilla warfare, hit and run attacks, ambushes. But they couldn't fight famine. The German scorched earth policy was working. Entire regions faced starvation. Disease followed malnutrition. Communities were scattered or eliminated entirely. The rebellion had become a war of survival, and the Africans were losing. 1907. The final blow came with the defeat of Mpandashalo, the last major rebel leader. His death marked the end of organized resistance. The Maji Maji Rebellion was officially crushed. The magic water had failed completely. The final cost was staggering. African deaths, 200,000 to 300,000, mostly from famine and disease. German military deaths. Approximately 400 resistance fail so completely. The Africans were armed with traditional weapons, spears, arrows, and stones. The Germans had modern rifles, submachine guns, and artillery. Kinjikitile's false propaganda about magic water never actually protected Africans from German bullets. Some tribes, like the Hehe, Chaga, and Nyamwezi, never joined the resistance, leaving the rebels isolated. After early defeats, many fighters lost persistence and pulled out, leaving fellow fighters to suffer alone. The Germans got reinforcement from Zulu, Sudanese, and Swahili mercenaries. Most critically, the scorched earth policy destroyed African food stores and granaries, forcing surrender through starvation in 1907. The magic water that promised to turn bullets into harmless drops had instead led hundreds of thousands to their deaths. But here's what we must remember about this devastating failure. These African warriors fought with incredible courage against impossible odds. They faced modern military technology with spears and unshakable determination. They united across ancient tribal divisions to fight for their land and freedom. Even when the magic failed, many continued fighting because they refused to accept foreign domination. The Maji Maji rebels showed the world that Africans would never stop seeking their independence, no matter the cost. Their sacrifice, though it ended in defeat, demonstrated Africa's unbreakable desire for freedom. The Maji Maji Rebellion stands as one of colonial history's most tragic failures. The sacred water couldn't stop German bullets. Spiritual protection couldn't overcome machine guns. 200,000 people died, believing in a promise that couldn't be kept. But their courage in the face of impossible odds showed that Africa would never accept permanent subjugation. The rebels may have lost everything, but they proved that the dream of freedom could never be completely crushed. Even in devastating defeat, they showed the world what Africans were willing to sacrifice for their land and liberty. What do you think? Was the belief in magic water naive? Or was fighting for freedom worth any sacrifice? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more stories of colonial resistance.